also known as Bahasa Melayu. Bahasa Melayu is the official language and one of the national languages, which also include Mandarin, Tamil, and English, in Malaysia, but is also spoken in Brunei, Singapore, and Indonesia. In fact, the national language of Indonesia is an altered version of Bahasa Melayu called Bahasa Indonesia. Malay, or Bahasa Melayu, is a member of the Malayo-Polynesian branch of the Austronesian language family. The Malay used today is the current form of the language believed to date back to about 2 millennia. The ancient or Proto-Malay is the oldest form of the Malay language, followed by Old Malay, which is said to have been influenced by Sanskrit. Preceding Old Malay, the language developed into what is known as Classical Malay, which was greatly influenced by the Islamic spread of religion and language. During this period, the Malay language became an icon of diplomacy and military action. The pre-modern Malay developed during the 19th century, which was when many colonizations by Western countries took place. So many words and morphemes and other parts of languages from other languages were brought into the Malay language. This form of Malay became an institutionalized language and was more frequently taught in schools. Today, the national Malay language in Malaysia is Standard Malay, or Bahasa Melayu. This has established officially in 1968, after Malaysia became reconstituted in 1963. There are about 163 million speakers of the Malay language, according to the Etholog. However, only 23 of that 163 million speak it as their first language, or their L1. There are quite a few dialects of Malay, but many categorize it into what is Northern dialect, which is Bahasa Melayu, and the Southern dialect, which is Bahasa Indonesia. A quick fact, it is estimated that about 80% of Bahasa Indonesia is lexically similar to Bahasa Melayu. Malay grammar can be tricky because although it follows the subject-verb-object word order, it can change due to variables such as words that emphasize on others, or just style preferences. For example, in the sentence, saya makan, I eat, or I'm eating, saya, or I, is the main subject and receives most of the focus. If you say makan saya, you are emphasizing the fact that the action is being made. I am eating. Eating is the most important part of that. Another unique function of Malay is the process called reduplication, taking a word and duplicating it to put strength or meaning into a word, or to form a new word. Nouns are not gender-based in Malay, except certain words borrowed from the languages like Arabic and English. There are no formal ways of using plurals, so if the word for boat is used, for example, then the same word can mean boats more than one. be split into formal pronouns and informal pronouns, such as saya, meaning I, is a formal pronoun, and aku, which is the informal. Also, a single pronoun can represent more than one person or not. One of the most unique processes that occurs in Malay is the affixations, like suffixes and prefixes. Meanings can change if a prefix or suffix is added or taken away, or it can be used to combine words into bigger and possibly ambiguous, more ambiguous words. For example, you have aja, and you add the suffix an, and so then you have ajaran, which makes teach into teachings. The phonology of Malay consists of 18 consonant phonemes, including a glottal stop, and 6 vowel phonemes, e, u, o, e, a, and in some cases, like when Arabic words, loan words are being used, the Arabic consonant phonemes are used in addition to them. Speaking of loan words, due to Islamization during the 14th and 18th centuries in the period of classical Malay, the Arabic and Persian alphabet and many words from those alphabets were spread into the Malay language and culture. Also, some words in Malay are used in English, like amok and ketchup. Modern Malay today is mostly written in the Latin alphabet, but some Malaysians, usually Muslim Malaysians or people from Brunei, use the Arabic script. Also, since Mandarin is a national language, Chinese script is sometimes used in many parts of Malaysia, associated in Malaysia, the Malay language as well. A common misconception is that the Indonesian and Malay languages are the same language or almost the same. And although this is almost true to a point, since Bahasa Indonesia was somewhat derived from Bahasa Melayu. However, there are some things in Indonesian Bahasa that make it significantly different from the Bahasa Melayu. For example, pronunciation is slightly harsher and thick, and the R's are more trilled or rolled. Also, instead of using some of the Malay words, because of location and the conquests and explorations of the Dutch, Indonesian borrowed words from Javanese and Dutch, and of course Indonesia has its own indigenous vocabulary from its other languages. The spelling is also sometimes altered, and words may be pronounced with different phonemes. Like, for example, apa kabar in in Malay is spelled APA-KHABAR, whereas in Indonesian it's APA-KABAR without the H. If you would like to explore more about the Malay language,